have a very special guest for you tonight.
Hello, we've been expecting you.
This is not a test. Your government and corporate overlords have implemented new measures for your own health and safety. We are just following orders.
Everything is going to be fine.
I'd like to introduce...
Welcome everyone to another We see Jake coming live from Florida.
What's up, dude? I'm
Man.
I'm on Amelia Island in Florida. I'm really close to Jekyll Island. I learned that today.
Whoa! How close? Can you make a trip and scrape some of the dirt?
If I had time, I would make a trip to go to Jekyll Island. I'm close. It's probably 20-30 minutes away, I think, from where I'm at. But no, I'm at a work retreat, but I wouldn't miss the show for anything. I brought my laptop with me, and I'm listening to a shitty Weezer cover band out the balcony window here behind me. But I've been looking forward to this show since we booked these guys, and since we talked to them before. I have been looking forward to this show for a long time, and two of my favorite people are on tonight. I'm happy to be here. I've been flying all day, traveling, and doing the elbow rubbing thing at work, but I told everybody, I was like, hey, I got to leave. I got to go talk shit about the government on my podcast, so I'll see you guys later. So I'm here.
Perfect, man. Well, I am, for one, I'm happy to have you. We do have both of our special guests in. Let me bring the first gentleman up because he was in first. Brent, welcome to If by Whiskey, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we bring our other special guest up because we got something special.
Yeah, man. I run a shitty podcast called Aiming Up Podcast. Not a whole lot of people watch it, but if you like stuff like scientific inquiry, consciousness, libertarian philosophy, philosophy in general, or any of the 8 topics I ADHD about, come on over and give it a listen. Also, run a clothing company called Anarcho Syndicate Clothing Company, anarchosyndicate.com. I think I make some pretty good clothes. Not a lot of people buy them either, but if you want to check it out, that's what I do.
I would be wearing one of them tonight, but I'm in a work thing, so I had to go with the button up.
Yeah, it's not appropriate, man. That's just make inappropriate clothing.
Don't sell yourself short, man. You have an amazing show. You have really insightful guests, and you even hosted a good fight recently, so that was good to see.
Oh boy, yeah, I certainly did. I never thought having so many podcasts in the political space, I never thought my first legit where 2 of my guests started fighting would be a scientific discussion. So whatever, it happened.
It was good to watch. I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, I'm still not ready to watch that yet. I'm just not ready. It's like,
that was
I love
tough.
everybody so much, and I want the ideas, and I want the ideas to flow, not clash. And I'm so scared, but I'm so.
I learned a lot though because I learned why it crashed into the guardrails. I did the retrospective on it, and I figured it's my fault as the host. I should have steered that better, and I just didn't. It didn't click for me how they were disagreeing, but I get it now. So I think I can do better next time.
Well, welcome, man. We're happy to have you. Now, you and this other guest had a separate podcast with Jake that I wasn't. Mm-hmm. And then we had one that Jake wasn't able to make. So this is great that we're finally getting us all. We're not going to talk about all that. Maybe we'll get to that because this other stuff we're going to talk about is pretty freaking boring by now, to be completely honest. I love the exchange of ideas. But I'm going to bring our next special guest. So this gentleman, let's bring him up. Rob Yates, everyone.
What's up?
Rob, now, I don't know if you know this. Very sorry to, but this is an intervention, my friend. You hurt us all individually by trying to become the LNC chair, and we would like you to step away from that toxic environment. You're hurting all your friends, man. We just need you to step back from that.
I love chaos.
So tell us about yourself, Rob.
I want to start off by seconding what Brent said. He has my favorite podcast going right now. If you're not watching Brent, you need to be watching Brent. Well, I'm just getting into your alls. I
concur. Aiming Up is amazing.
It's incredible.
Shucks, guys, make me blush. Stop it.
My goal is to get on your podcast and find a topic that you can't speak intelligently because no one's tripped you up yet.
Good luck.
Hey, Amity.
We got Amity. We got Free.
Oh,
we got
Free.
Kitty Cat likes potatoes and 6'7" also. So just hi Kitty Cat.
Cool. Everybody follow Kitty Cat. I've never heard of them before.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah.
She's kidding. Yeah.
I have my own podcast, Liberty Inc. I've only done like 4 episodes in the last 2 years because other stuff is way more interesting. Not that interesting a person, I don't think. I just get into interesting situations, and I like to read. And I have some thoughts on human behavior and how we can take advantage of people's strengths and put them in situations to succeed. And I think I can apply some of those thoughts at the national level. And then I actually, if you weren't watching, I was running late because I came straight from the System Is Down podcast. And I was saying that, like,
They have good music.
Well, so that's what I want to do. I want to move to the beach. I want to buy a small hotel with a nice hall. I want to serve good food. I want to have good music play. And that's my goal in life. So I need to get a world where I can be comfortable doing that. I'm
on the beach right now, man. Come visit. I'm not too far.
I hear the music in the background. You're having a fiesta back there. That's great.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I could tune this stuff out, I would. It's horrible covers. But I mean, I had to be here.
Nothing bad than a bad cover. It's just bad.
They're
Imagine a bad beer cover.
They're bad enough that they're good. So it's at least redeeming.
What beach?
I am on Amelia Island in Florida, just south of the Georgia line.
That's right. Yeah. You were saying you were going for work.
Yeah. But I wouldn't miss this for the world. And I got to say, like, I don't want to sell this short. The last time we talked was one of my most favorite conversations. It went deep, but it was super insightful. It gave me a lot to think about after the fact. And I know Mark wasn't able to be here with some family stuff. So to have Mark back tonight and be able to kind of do a round 2 of this is pretty awesome. I'm happy to have him back.
It's my favorite topic. And I love talking with people who are into it. Because it's not my wife's favorite topic. It's just to listen to it all day.
Same, brother.
Why don't we get the drag stuff out of the way so we can talk about the fun stuff? We have to talk a little bit about the drag. Well, some dude talked for a couple hours last night, right? I heard
some dude for sure talked. I was telling this to Mark before you came on, Rob, and to Brent. I watched the State of the Union on the airplane on the second leg of the trip because I don't know. I like car crashes, I guess, but I really wanted to see, I wanted to have a good feel for what was said. And I wanted to jump out of the airplane a couple times after listening to that. It was a mess.
Good way to lose a few IQ points, man.
Oh.
I never miss the State of the Union. So I watch, I admit, and make fun of me if you want, but I watch the Tonys. I'm a musicals person, but I don't watch the other award shows. The State of the Union is like the political award show for me. So I want to see, what are the taglines we're going to hear for the next 6 months? What war are we going to be getting into? What additional taxes am I going to be paying? It's like you get all the previews.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. It was an excellent. I mean, it basically is theater. It should qualify for the Tonys because that's what it is. but to watch, I was telling this to Brent, is to watch the pandering at a level of it's like throwing chum in the water for just the lowest IQ voters and the people that just rah over anything that I think Brent said, I'm not to steal his joke, but it's like a crowd full of Gunther Eaglemans, and it's that's exactly what it felt like watching that thing.
Red and circuses.
Don't forget the cat tards. Oh my god, the cat. Oh, how about when I know that everyone has talking points. But Jesus Christ, when did these people become the left, the progressive talking points? Candace is a demon. Candace is a demon. Candace is a demon. Candace is a demon. I'm hearing it from James Lindsay all the way through Eagleman, through Cat Turd, all the way up and down that whatever you want to call that ideology or whatever. It's all, she's a demon. It's really? That's organic.
They are the left, though. That's the thing that I keep
exactly.
saying to everybody is the MAGA people. And I've been saying this since his first term. It's these are hard left authoritarian folks here. This is not traditional conservatism. This is not your Ronald Reagan era or even Clinton era Republicans. This is a different breed, man. These people have no principles. They've got no core. They've got no sort of overarching worldview. It's a cult of personality. You have a strong man, everybody else bows and supports and will do whatever mental gymnastics is required to sort of stay within that team. And the people that will just say the most out-of-pocket shit, the most ridiculous cat turd type of stuff, they get elevated. They're the ones that get promoted. They're the ones that get all of the exposure. The algorithm favors those people. And we just sit on the sidelines. If you have an IQ over, 85, you're looking at these people like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is a very weird time to be in politics.
If you have an IQ over 85, then you can't be Gavin Newsom. So.
Oh my God!
You can't have an SAQ over 960.
The picture of him and Harry together.
He's just like you. He's just like us black people. There are 4 black folk on this podcast, apparently. And he's just like us.
I'm just waiting for him to start rolling out the Hillary Clinton accents when he goes in front of the black audiences.
The hot sauce out of his purse.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Mark, you and I were trying to show that one at the same time. I completely agree.
Yeah, 100%, man. And that is the problem. And that's the thing. Populism is not conservative. Values are conservative. Principles, not populism, not politics. Principles.
Well,
who's got principles though? Who has got any principles besides libertarians?
4 of us
not to like, say we're the best team ever, but no. Bro, like I'm not seeing anybody that is really. I mean, even the left is having more principles than the MAGA people.
It's crazy.
Individuals need to step up with the responsibility and accountability, but we're not going to do that as an en masse. We're just not. That's what you and I see, Brent. That's what the sad part is. We're happy to hand off this power to the government to treat us like children, let them be our parent, because we don't want the stress of being accountable for our actions to others, the responsibility of being a good neighbor, all these other things that are involved.
It's crazy. It's crazy to say, but principles don't get you votes anymore. Like principles used to be should be the thing that gets you votes, but it doesn't matter anymore. It's almost like being a comedian with a get her done tagline. Like the more punchlines you have, the cooler merch you have, that's how you get the votes. And it's like, I don't know. It's depressing, but at the same time, I have to watch. And the bad thing about doing a show once a week is we have so much more to say. But when stuff happens, that's like big stuff. We're always kind of third or fourth to talk about it. We really wanted to cover the Tucker and Huckabee interview, but Clint did a great job of it already. It's been done. So I know we want to hit a couple points on it because it was one of those things that like. Dumbfounded is a nice way to say, like watching that happen and watching the answers that an American ambassador to a foreign country gives
we're gonna get there.
It was just it was appalling, and I knew I wanted to talk about it with you guys. So we'll get to it at some point, but you guys are the right guys to cover it with us.
I think the worst thing about it was making Huckabee relevant again.
Right?
I love his bass work, man. When he's slapping the bass.
Come on. When he does Sweet Home Alabama to Sweet Home Jerusalem or whatever the heck. All right. Yeah. Before we continue, though, we've got a lot of call outs here. We've got Terry. Hi, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Florida Jake.
Up, Terry.
We got Appalachian Liberty. He came in second place behind Amity yesterday on Smarter Than a Politician.
And I got an announcement. So the Appalachian Liberty and I were doing a show swap. We disagreed last night on the immigration issue, and we've had some DMs back and forth. So I'm going to be on his show. He's going to be on my show.
Nice.
Look forward to that. That's coming up.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. That's exciting. So what's good there? And obviously, it's like the show last night. We need David Crane. We need Dave Cranston here. And anyone know Daniel Lee?
Do not.
You do now?
What's up, Daniel?
I was pleased he was being honest about the greater Israel policy. Yeah, well, guess what, Daniel? What a great segue. Should we just talk about it, guys?
Mark, you got the button, buddy.
All right, let's do it. All right, so real simple, guys. You guys remember some chant that brown people were yelling when Israel was bombing the fuck out of them? You guys remember? It's like something
River
about
to
some... Yeah, River to Sea, right? So I'm not a geologist. We're a geographist. We're a rocket mathematician or a science fast foodist. But I started looking up maps because I failed maps in school. So I looked this up and check it out, guys. This is the river. You see the river, the vertical little blue thing, and then to the left of that, that's the sea. That huge chunk. That is the huge chunk that Palestine, right? These brown people want to be free. Okay. Now, before I show you the other map, I'd like to introduce our good friend Tuck and Huck, our good friends. Let them have a quick conversation about this map situation. Let's do this.
You off on this because you have said it 3 times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all. But I don't think that's what we're talking about here today.
What would be fine? Well, it's exactly what we're talking about today.
But here's what I don't think
you think it would be fine if the state of Israel took over all of Jordan?
They don't want to take it over. They're not asking to take it over.
But you're saying that the reason that Israel is legitimate, has this inherent right to exist, is in part because God gave it to his people. And I am going to the same Bible that you're referring to and noticing that that is a huge piece of land. So if God gave them that land, then they have a right to take it now by your definition, unless I'm missing something completely.
Well, I think you're missing something because they're not asking to go back to take all of that, but they are asking to at least take the land that they now occupy, they now live in, they now own legitimately, and it is a safe haven for them.
So then I decided to look up the map after, what is this Nile to Euphrates? Because like I heard river to the sea forever. But this is for our audience more than us guys, because we've started looking into this, but do you guys know what the Nile to the Euphrates looks like? Okay, I'm going to pull up the map. Oh, welcome. Okay, so the littlest sliver where you read Israel, that little sliver, that's the river to the sea, everybody. That red outline, that's what God has given to Israel. That's what Israel claim is theirs, whatever. Like, that's the stuff. So I'd love for you guys to each talk about this. I'll let you guys go in a circle because I'm just going to hit mute because I'm just irate.
I feel nothing. It's like it's so on brand for Huckabee and the Zionists, like this. It doesn't surprise me. There's nothing in here that surprises me. I'm disappointed, especially in understanding the sort of bellicose foreign policy that's being pushed on this administration. Apparently, it's open arms received by this administration because they're basically doing everything Israel wants. And it is scary because who knows if any sort of regional conflict breaks out and we attack Iran, that could spill over into it might end up being that deal by the time this is all said and done. Who the hell knows? But nothing would surprise me at this point. It just disappoints and saddens me.
Rob, you want to? Oh, I got you.
Go ahead, Rob.
So I tend to have a slightly different take on this. Like, I don't care that much about foreign policy, except that we need to stop meddling in other countries. And I understand a lot of the antipathy against Israel. But if it wasn't Israel, it would be someone else. Like, the problem is that we have a system that has enabled someone to take this much power. So I'm anti-DC politicians. If we want to stop supporting, like Israel is doing a lot of really bad things. You know who else is with our bombs and weapons? Saudi Arabia. And how often do you hear about the genocide they're committing in Yemen? Like,
and what about UAE and Sudan? I mean, we can go, the list goes on, right?
Our war machine is just out of control, and a lot of poor people and children are dying so that a very few people who have a lot of money can get a lot more money. And that's what we need to stop. And then there would be no conversation about Israel or China or Russia or Taiwan, Taiwan, Ukraine, whatever it may be, Venezuela. It would just be a conversation about peace. And as long as we have our military might for sale, people with money are going to keep buying it.
I couldn't agree with you more. The thing for me about this that was kind of, I don't know, enjoyable, is to put it mildly, was watching. I mean, Trump's trying to sell a war. He's trying to sell this war with Iran. He's trying to convince everybody that's the next step. And then you got Huckabee out there just saying like, oh yeah, it's cool if Israel takes all of this. And I just could imagine the behind the scenes, like phone call that he got afterwards with Trump with like, will you shut the fuck up? We're trying to sell a war here.
And it's coming.
And by the way,
they're a week away from nukes. Mark, they're a week away from nukes. Watch out.
Again,
I
saw somebody, they had a Dead Sea Scroll that said they're a week away from nukes on it. Too. It's like really weird. Experience, they just uncovered it. I don't know if the translation just came in. Now
they're a week away from nukes, but also we obliterated everything 6 months ago when we bombed them. But
yeah,
so Schrodinger's nuke.
And who are the hyperbolic people who said that we were the ones claiming World War III was going to happen? Not a single one of us said. We said this is a potential to erupt into something larger. We're much more concerned about Russia, Ukraine being World War III than we are about Iran being World War III. Other than a maybe Israel false flag, possibly, but that's the thing. Is like I don't even understand how they can justify. We're back again, so I guess we are. We didn't do the job, but we did it great. We're perfect. So I don't know how he can square that circle of like we're the best and awesome. We did it once, and we're going back again because we did it so good that we just have to do it again.
You know why we're handicapped, Mark, is because we have this natural, innate need to make sense of things. It's going to fuck us up the entire time because that's not what's happening here. Like we talked about in the opening, this isn't rational discourse. This isn't making sense. This is crazy making. This is follow the leader. There's no there, guys. Like we don't have to try to make sense of it. It's just like we know what's happening. They're teeing up for war. They just got to figure out some way to ostensibly justify what they're going to do. We already know they're going to do, and so we're just like, well, what excuse are they going to pull this time? Like we saw J.D. Vance rolled out today, pulling the Colin Powell. Oh, I've seen the evidence. They've got nukes now. It's like Jesus, guys. Like, come on.
Wasn't it a few weeks ago, maybe a little longer than that now, but when they were first, because we had a 4-day war with Iran once this year already. And I think it was Bill Maher who did the side to side with the justifications for the Iraq war. It's like they're not even refreshing the propaganda. Like they don't have enough respect to give us new stuff. It was the exact same words.
They don't have to. That's the thing is they don't have to. And I'm with you. Like at least jerk me off and tell me it's something else. But the fact that you're going to give me the same shit again, and so many people just fall for it because they're so quick to, again, like Brent said, it's a follow the leader. It's a cult of personality. It's like, hey, my team says this, so now all of a sudden I'm on board with this, and now I'm all about regime change war. It doesn't matter that he campaigned on no new wars and ending it. And then in the State of the Union last night, he talks about, I've ended 8 wars. Like, bitch, please. You ended 8 wars, my ass. And you've started how many?
Yeah, started, continued. Right.
Well, did you notice when he talked about war with Iran, it was the one part where the Democrats all stood up too?
Oh, yeah. They both love that.
We can all agree on blowing up people overseas.
And he got Elizabeth Warren to stand up when he was talking about insider trading. I will say the one thing, and this is just a Trump thing, but he made the thing about we need to ban insider trading, and both sides of the House stand up. You know, the Democrats stand up, Republicans stand up. At the end of it, his timing was impeccable. He goes, "Did Nancy Pelosi stand up?"
That was pretty funny.
Like that. I mean, credit where it's due. That was a good line.
He's sharp to a point. I mean, it's brilliant. So, all right. So we got that one out of the way. So Brent, since we started with a good round robin with you, this one is definitely close to your heart. I clipped a weird portion of this because I wanted the guy's fucking name out there. I want this guy's name out there, and everyone else is clipping all this shit around it. No, this guy needs to be held accountable. We need to find this motherfucker and just bring him back. Oh, they're only allegations. What the fuck is charging a victim? It's a charge, man. It's not an allegation at that point. All right, I'll shut up again.
They are, and I'll give you and I just want to make sure that I pronounce this man's name correctly. It's Tom, I believe, Alexandrovich. I think that's right, and I've written it down, but of course my handwriting is so terrible I can't read it. But yes, he is an Israeli, I believe, cybersecurity official who was at a conference in Las Vegas last year and was caught up in a sting designed to catch people soliciting sex from children. He was one of a number of people arrested for this. He was arraigned and charged. And then 2 days later, he fled to Israel and did his first hearing by Zoom. He was allowed for some reason to leave for a foreign country, having already been charged for a attempted molestation of a child. And he remains here now. And there have been many news stories about this. And I just wonder if you would ask the Israeli government to put him on a plane and send him back to face justice for attempting to molest an American child. It doesn't seem complicated.
No, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I want to find out if the Justice Department of the U.S. has already sought to extradite him. Is there anything in process? I don't know.
Why wouldn't they seek to extradite him?
I have no idea. That's a question for the Justice Department.
So when it's taking over from the Nile to the Euphrates, he supports it fully. But when it's bringing back someone caught in a child rape sting operation, I'm going to defer to the Justice Department.
There's one thing that they all seem to agree upon, and that is that child rape's not really a big deal. Like not only that, I think there's like support for it. I'm seeing, particularly on the MAGA side, like these people, these supposed religious right, these Bible believing Christians, they've somehow found a way that, you know, child rape is something we can defend now. We can get behind when our guy does it or our team does it. There's no moral issue with that, and that to me has been probably the most shocking thing that I've seen in the last 10, 15 years. That development has been, I'm not saying I'm surprised by it. The number of people in this world that I believe actually have core values and principles and aren't actually LARPing, that's an exceedingly small group, and it feels like it's getting smaller.
I want to know what they're paying them, and how do I get some of that APEC money? Like, wow. Buy a couple houses.
It's so blatant. It's like, you know, I'm going to defer to the Justice Department. Yeah, it's because, you know, the Justice Department is inept as fuck. They are doing nothing.
No, I heard the Dow's over 50,000 now, though.
Yeah, you can defer to the Justice Department when you know they're not going to do anything.
This thing's ridiculous. This whole thing is just silly. I knew there was pedophilia going on in some corners of the globe. I didn't know it ran literal every cog and every single like gear. I mean, I watched Snowpiercer now, that movie, and I watched the end of that with Ed Harris. And like, oh my God, they're telling us straight up what they're doing with these children. Like in some creepy, abstract way, that's what they're telling us, that they churn these children and spit them out. That's literally what they tell us at the end of that movie. And then Pinocchio's been warning us for how many years about this stuff, man. It's crazy.
I can't watch Eyes Wide Shut anymore after Brent pointed that out to me.
Isn't that terrible?
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh fuck. And then Redacted did a whole clip on it too, and I was like, it's forever ingrained in my head now. There's no escaping it.
Well, the whole thing about Kubrick being killed for that all of a sudden seems a lot more plausible.
Yeah, especially if you know that he was in a huge shouting match when they were screening the film about them cutting his film. And then he just dies like 4 days later, mysteriously.
Yeah. Do you think he threatened the NASA stuff?
I mean, do you think he was, but he's tied into all
that makes sense too, right? It would make total sense that he would be like, look, man, I made your whole program in the 60s and 70s work. And you guys, I could just, I've got all the originals and all the, negatives, whatever. I'm just curious if that
I don't know if that's that controversial anymore. I think that if it came out today, that was all bullshit. I think collectively the world would kind of shrug. It's like, it was the Cold War, whatever.
Yeah, but this is 20 years ago. I'm talking like a little bit, probably more. Eyes Wide Shut was what, 2000?
That's fair.
I don't know, but you're right. To your point, it's like the UFO thing. It's like almost. I feel like a lot of people be like just muted to it, right, or kind of numb to it.
Well, and I think even if there was a disclosure like that, half the world wouldn't believe it anyway. Like we're in this sort of post-truth world now where nobody knows what the hell to believe. We're just nothing but psyops from every direction. No way to empirically validate most claims anymore. It's just it's a rough time to be in the information age.
Right.
On a side note, good, Jake.
Now they're talking about now's the time to have UFO disclosure, and Stephen Greer has been prepping the president on what to say, and it's coming soon. It's like, who's fooled by this? Like it doesn't. Yeah, sure. So you're going to release some stuff. There's going to be some grains of truth in there and some stuff that's going to be like, oh yeah, obviously we knew that. But the rest of it is just an obvious, complete diversion.
Yeah. And on a side note of that, like to your point, Brent, about like not believing our eyes, you guys see that the AI robot display with the karate? I thought that was AI generated first when I first saw that. The one in China. Oh, so there are Chinese robots, AI robots doing like full backflip handsprings, karate movement stuff like from 1 year ago. You just look it up. Anyone can just do a web search on it. But I thought that was fake at first, and then it turns out that's real. And you're like,
how do you know it's real though?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe someone was physically there, maybe can vouch for it, but they might be an agent too, right? To your point. Yeah, how do we know it's not real, right?
There was a video going around.
What the fuck? Now we got turtles all the way up. Like,
yeah, it's wild, man. I'm telling you. Like, and I'm deep into philosophy, and I want to know. You know, I like to explore questions of like, what's true? How do we know what's true? Like that whole chain is messed up now in our information world. Like we're all relying on the same sort of shim layer of sort of falsified data, and we don't know. It's just subterfuge and obvious psyop, and then you don't know there's double agents, and you don't know who's who, and like it's a really difficult thing to actually get to ground truth most of the time.
There was one video going around of a bunch of those Chinese restaurants and the Kung Fu dancer restaurants. God, I haven't had dinner. Robots, excuse me. And then the Kung Fu dancers next to them, and they were like going back and forth, matching each other's moves, multiple camera angles, a bunch of different people.
Right. That's the one we're talking about. And once again, to your point, we don't know how. I mean, obviously, we've seen some amazing video work just in recent.
And AI is getting better too. It's getting exponentially better over time. So it's going to be harder to differentiate what's real and false.
And the third wash of that, fourth scrub of it scrubbing itself, it's just clean as all get out. I have to say hi to Derek, Jake, because we got Derek back in the house. Welcome, Derek.
A regular,
like a regular now. So welcome.
The thing is too is if you're born before 1960, you're fooled by any AI, any sort of like deep fake. At least I feel like our generation is probably the first that's like skeptical enough to really look into stuff. But anything my parents see, like I can't tell you how many times I get text messages like, "Hey, will you run this through Grok? Is this real?" And it's like, I don't even need that. It's not real. I don't need it.
I like the ones, and that's the thing. To your point too, is the boomers are like, but they saw the babies pulled out of the incubators and slammed onto the ground. And I'm like, no, they told you they saw the babies. Like, do you understand? There's like levels in between what happened and what information you're getting, right? Like how, and with this stuff, it just gets tricky.
Look, everybody with the uncles on Facebook, you just got to let them go. Just you have to let them go.
Well, this is what's great. So you just brought it up. So with truth, guys, I'd like you to tell me will the real Mike Huckabee please stand up? Let's do it. So we have this guy who got arrested for some espionage thing. He stole some secret from us. Literally should have been fucking executed. But that's just an opinion I might have, right? For treason. So let me just show what Mike Huckabee thinks about this gentleman. I'm going to use his name because he didn't bring him here. Once again, I was trying to clip little things a little different than everybody else's. So this is in reference to Pollard, the gentleman who stole secrets and whom he met, I think it was once or twice. So here he is.
Wanted to thank me for being nice to him when his wife died. That's pretty much the story.
You advocated for his release when you ran for, I remember it, in 2011, long before he had served 30 years. And I agree with you that there are a lot of people languishing in prison, in our country and in this country, in many countries, for longer periods than they deserve. And I think it's a Christian impulse to want to see them free. But this was the greatest traitor in modern American history who sold our battle plans against the Soviet Union, our main enemy in the Cold War, to the Israeli government, which according to our Reagan CIA director, Bill Casey, then gave them to the Soviet Union. So this was the most profound betrayal of the United States
No big deal.
in my lifetime. Why advocate for that guy's release before he serves his full sentence?
If that were the case in 2011, it would have been because I had a number of friends that suggested that he had more than served time, and he didn't want to live in the U.S. anymore. He wanted to live in Israel. And but my association with him, again, I had never met him until I met him in Jerusalem at a hotel. That was the first time I had ever encountered him.
My friends
he wanted to move back to Israel because what traitor of their country of Israel wouldn't want to move back to the country for whom they betrayed the other country?
I don't know the guy. My friend said he's cool, so I advocated for him to get out of prison.
What are you like, dude? My buddy said he's okay, and he wanted to go back to Israel. Well, yeah, the Rubensteins or whatever wanted to go back to their home. I don't know. You guys go, because I got another clip after that. Just go ahead.
I still haven't gotten over Alexandrovich yet, man. Someone else got to talk. I'm still stuck on that asshole.
Oh, well, yeah, go opine about him because we can always touch back up on this. I'll show you the other clip after. Go, man.
Well, it's part of it is too because I'm in cybersecurity, right? And so I used to go to the same conference. It's called DEF CON. It's in Vegas every year. It's the largest cybersecurity conference in the world, and I know what this is like. I know how what type of thing he got caught up in, and the facts of the matter are disgusting. It was apparently the decoy was something like a 12-year-old. And apparently, if the news stories are to be believed, the Trump administration essentially got him out of there, greased the wheels, helped him flee the country. Israel's got a long history of letting child sex predators just sort of live free in that society, and they won't extradite back to the U.S. So it's just that whole thing. It disgusts me. And every time that guy's name gets brought up in the news, and I know there's not going to be any justice for this. I mean, I know there was no actual victim in this particular instance. It was a decoy. I understand all of that. But, if he got caught doing this, he's been doing it all over the place and hasn't got caught yet. And that's the part that pisses me off.
Yeah, remember Epstein gave, what did he say? He pled guilty to someone who was 17 years and 10 months old. Mm-hmm. There were younger ones, guys, that to which he didn't plead. Not you guys know this, but to our audience, there were younger people involved in that, but he only pled to the one case so that Dershowitz can go out and go, 17 years, 10 months, that's basically an 18-year-old. And let's go. And we all basically go, yeah, that's basically an 18-year-old. You're right.
Yep. And to get caught in something like that with a 12-year-old, it's like, you don't just like, oopsie. Kind of happened to me. I got in a weird situation. Like, you're seeking that shit out. You're looking for children to rape. Like this is super serious. It's super gross. And the fact that he did get caught means that there's been other victims in their wake. These child predators, they don't just like, once and done. I made a mistake. No, that's not what it is. It's a pathology that causes them to repeat, and they're going to continue to repeat offend. And so the fact that this guy is just walking free, he's not going to face any justice, and there's probably going to be other victims. That's just
well, I'm sure it escalates too. Like, it repeats, but it also escalates and gets worse.
Oh,
and he's a guy I've never heard of, and he's getting off. Like, imagine all the people we know of. Like,
well, he's pretty high up, though. Like, he reports.
Yeah, he's there, but I'm saying, like, it's not like he's international. Like, we know him, right? Obviously, he's a big person, but like, we know the Secretary of State or the president, or some prime minister of a country or something. But this guy's just known, but not known, kind of, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe I'm so cynical now. I just sort of assume anybody who has any like sort of political power and any sort of high office is like, well, you're involved in all this shit. I just take that as a granted.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not, though? I mean, it's all connected. They're all tied to each other. It's all a club, and they all protect each other. And that's why, I mean, I'm telling you, I was watching the clip on, again, shout out to the guys at Redacted. They pulled a clip of Massey starting to read names. He was actually reading names in front of the house. And I was like, oh, shit. And my wife's watching this with me. She goes, I shout out to my wife who's watching right now, but she's like, they're going to Charlie Kirk him. And I was like, I really hope they don't, but he's treading some dangerous water.
Yeah, dude. I tell you, I keep chastising people because I have a lot of people watching the show that are mutuals. I love y'all, but everyone that's like Massey for president, I'm like, why do you want that for him?
Don't do that to him.
Don't do that. Like, I like.
Don't do that. It's the one guy we still like. Jesus Christ, stop. And by the way, if he does go to Freedom Fest, we need to all like be watching because that place is riddled with places where you could just bad things happen. I mean, I was there in 24. I know that convention center really well. It's just open. There's like one guy sitting at a podium. You walk by there. It's pretty easy. It'd be something. Even the
don't give anybody any ideas, Mark. Like seriously.
I know, but I'm just saying, even the RFK smoke screen. But look, something has to happen every Freedom Fest. 2 years ago was Trump getting shot in the ear or whatever, and then it was the bombing of Iran by of us in Iran last year. That's when Scott Horton's across the room. He's like, "They fucking did it, those motherfuckers!" And you just hear like we're like, "Oh, Scott's here, everybody." So Rob, man, any thoughts on this before we go to if the real Mike Huckabee's here or not? Like which one?
The whole thing is so disgusting, top to bottom, inside and out. And we complain a lot about our elected officials, and not that they don't warrant it, but it's the whole administrative state that sits behind them. Mike Huckabee didn't win any elections. He lost a bunch of elections. And he made his name for losing a bunch of elections and then just got appointed. They're accountable to no one. They do all the behind the scenes deals. I don't believe in the deep state. To me, it's the administrative state, and it goes deep. And it's where all these backroom deals are made, all these decisions. How does this benefit me? How can I get paid from this? And Huckabee stuck his neck out. We'll see how quickly he gets benched. Just because there's no topic he's going to cover that they want him talking about, but he's saying the right things to the right people behind the scenes, and he's going to continue to be empowered to do so.
He flew too close to the sun on this one, for sure.
I want to know who keeps letting these people talk to Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they must have thought his relationship would have been softer in this one. Because, like, after Cruz, I wouldn't let Tucker talk to anybody.
Exactly.
Because Tucker can get on. Tucker just has to get you. He doesn't need to actually have anything other than to catch you not saying something correct. Like, that's the easiest part of our jobs, guys, is like, that's the point. Comedians, great at finding problems. Ask them to actually solve a problem, and they're useless. You know what I mean? They're just really good at finding the problem. That's where the humor lies, right? It's kind of like a lot of these ideologies find problems, but they don't find solutions. I think we have a lot of solutions. So anyway, so I want to share that one because remember, 30 years, it was despicable, but he served his time and he wanted to go back to Israel. Well, you guys heard of his little thing called WikiLeaks, I think, a couple of years ago, some weird thing, right? Here's a younger Mike Huckabee speaking about someone, if they were happening to steal government secrets, what should happen to them. Let's see. Will the real Mike Huckabee, once again, please stand up.
In our government, leak that information is guilty of treason. And I think anything less than execution is too kind a penalty.
There you go, boys. All you need to do to confirm all the conspiracy theories is time. That's all you need is time.
Yeah. You want to know what's going to be truth in 6 months? Check your conspiracy theorists.
The schizos. You see that bit about the schizos?
No. What's that about?
Send that to you. Yeah, somebody just did this. It was basically talking about the normies versus the schizos, and essentially what Rob is saying is that these people serve a valuable function. We're the ones that have the pattern recognition apparatus. We see shit coming way in the future, and y'all catch up eventually. I'm not doing justice to it. I'll send it to you. But it made the rounds like a week ago or something. It was really funny.
Cool. Well, that's all I got because that was plenty. So let's talk fun shit, guys. Let's just loop. So you guys are here. What are we bringing up? Are we bringing up the argument between Sterling?
Yeah, Sterling and Stewart, man, they got into a beef on my show, and I feel really bad about it.
You might give a little background about that, Brent, about who Sterling and Stewart are, just for some of the people tuning in here. Guys,
yeah, totally. Can I give 2 quick shout outs?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So first of all, what's up, Jen? Jumping in the chat. You gotta hopefully.
Is that Misfit Bunny?
Maybe I shouldn't be using names.
Okay.
But she's awesome. She's super based in the last 6 months, has transformed from I believe in the system to I'm full on and cap tear it all down. She's more extremist than I am.
She connected us. She connected us with the redacted team, so we're happy with that.
Yes, thank you, Misfit, for that.
And then the second thing, for the first time in 20 years, I can say there's a new Scrubs on tonight, which is putting a smile on my face.
I heard, and I'm scared whether I'm going to hate it or not, because I used to love Scrubs. Scrubs was the show because it was smart.
Two big shows.
It was smart. That even if it was cheesy, it was still smart.
Are you talking about the guys that do the T-Mobile commercials now?
Yeah,
I even like doing the T-Mobile commercials. I miss seeing Turk and JD. So
hey man, everybody has their guilty pleasures. That's fine.
New Scrubs.
I miss Turk from Clueless, right? Wasn't he in Clueless too?
He was with Stacey Dash.
Yeah, I remember. I don't like things where balls hit my face. There goes your social life.
What a great line! That was such a good movie. God, we're kids today. Our generation, the college years were so fun.
Yes, there is a new Scrubs. Where is it? Is it on Peacock or is it going on something else? Well,
ABC and Hulu tomorrow.
There you go. Yes. I can't do this all on my own.
I still rock out to that song. So, Brent, I apologize for interrupting. Back to Stuart and Sterling.
Yeah, no worries. I feel like I'm going to lose like most of the audience here because if you're not a fucking nerd,
we talk consciousness.
Yeah. So Sterling Cooley is my buddy. I've had him on my show several times, including one in-person episode when I went up to Seattle. That was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with him a little bit and get to know him a little. It's always good when you get to know the guest a little bit, other than just a brief, interview. But Sterling is a consciousness researcher. And so he's aligned and sort of connected with Stuart Hameroff, who is an anesthesiologist, who is also a consciousness researcher. And then Hameroff is a contemporary of someone named Sir Roger Penrose, who is a cosmologist, astrophysicist, and dabbled after he had his Nobel Prize. He dabbled in something outside of his traditional field, which was consciousness, and he had some ideas about it. And they've all sort of coalesced around this idea that the microtubules inside your brain, neurons, is what causes consciousness to emerge. There's something called I don't want to go this deep into it, but essentially, let's just say there's a whole bunch of these microtubules. They make things called pyramidal neurons. They're called pyramidal because they actually shape, the shape is like a pyramid. So it's a bundle. And these neurons sort of flicker, kind of like the resolution on your TV screen. It's a bunch of collapsing of the quantum wave function that sort of forces objective reality to pick a position. If you're familiar with quantum theory and superpositions, it's like these particles can exist in multiple positions at once. And then sort of by measuring it or observing it or interacting with it.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. The Schrodinger. So it at predetermined intervals at a frequency, and these certain frequencies can be measured in the brain. These megahertz, these terahertz, these gigahertz. It's causing the wave function to collapse and sort of generate consciousness and reality for each subjective person. Like your sort of awake experience is sort of mediated through this function, and they know it's
so can I jump in very quickly just to help clarify one thing about that?
Sure.
When we talk about this collapse of the wave function, basically in this quantum world, it's probabilities, it's percentage of probabilistic outcome. Okay, so there's infinite number of probabilistic outcomes. Without this action of it collapsing to a single, the theory is that everything would split apart because there would never be an actual thing happening because everything would be probable without actually coming to existence. So there has to be a collapse of that for it to become reality, the way we perceive some kind of reality.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summation of it. And so how Hameroff is in this is because he's an anesthesiologist. He was studying what actually causes loss of consciousness if you're in an anesthesiologist world. And so that's how he was involved in all that and got together with Roger Penrose, and Sterling was sort of doing experiments. And so they've been experimenting with something called xenon gas, which is a noble gas. It's also inert, which means it doesn't interact with anything, right? But it will shut off your consciousness, which was very, very weird. And they found out that it actually interferes with that quantum collapse, right? And so long story short, like Sterling is very much in this microtubule world. And there's this adage that to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And Stuart Sims is coming at this from there's this guy named Carl Friston, and he is the inventor, or I guess it would be discoverer of the Friston free energy principle. And this is something that is he's a neuroscientist, by the way, and this is like super small interactions having some sort of cognition. And this is where they got sideways. This is consciousness versus cognition, and cognition is sort of like a primitive version of consciousness, kind of. And that's where we got really sideways of each other, is that Stuart is so smart. If you've ever talked to him, Stuart Sims is one of the smartest people I know, and he is deep in the free energy principle and these nested hierarchies and Markov blankets and scale invariance and he's very well versed in Sterling's area of expertise, but I don't think Sterling was quite as versed in Stuart's FEP world. And so they just there was terminology differences. We had difficulty with definitions, and then people's feelers got hurt because of that, and then it just kind of spiraled, and we had to end the show, and it was a complete shit show. But like I said, I learned a lot as a host. I learned how I fucked up and how I could have steered that better. But boy, in real time, especially when these really technical scientific discussions, like, damn, dude, like it's very difficult to sort of mediate both personalities, steer the conversation, and also make sure that it doesn't end up in the ditch and people get egos hurt and all that sort of thing. I said I really wish it would have been the political one, because I would know how to handle those arguments. But this
imagine Piers Morgan. Like, he just brings people on to argue. You bring on two people in totally good faith, total honest actors, and it still happens because of misunderstanding or misdefinition. It's funny because I think of cognition actually more of a process of grinding to create it's a process to calculate more than is consciousness. So I actually find these two very separate.
And I don't think they are
able to be cognitive about it, right? Like you have to be conscious to make something to be cognitive about it or something, I guess.
Yeah, and this is where it gets difficult too, because the free energy principle, and Carl Friston defined certain terms, like with like at the atomic scale, the free energy principle essentially minimizes surprise, is what they call it. So surprise is a very weird word to talk about particles with, right? It almost like this anthropomorphizing, something very, very small. And we know what we mean colloquially when we say surprise. And so there was a lot of terminology. I just think Sterling really knew that well. And then he was taking the colloquial use, and Stuart was using the technical definition. And boy, it just spiraled. And pretty soon Stuart got pissed off, and he's just like, all right, I'm done. So like,
I will say though, Brent, credit to you, because Stuart at the end was like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm out of here. I'm gonna leave. And you were able to at least wrap it up and end the show before it was like this digital fisticuff. So credit to you that you're able to kind of like land that plane. But it was still fascinating to watch, and it was completely over my high school educated head. But I understood, like I could see the frustration in the terminology mix-ups and the some of the assumptions that were made, but it was fascinating to watch. So it was a great show.
Thank you. I love both those guys, and I tried to tell them both that at the end of the show, because they've both been on multiple times. I know, Rob, you've talked to both of them, and they're awesome people, and they're really deep thinkers, and they've got their niche and everything. And I always think the fun part is when things grind up against each other. Like I said, you got this paradigm over here and this paradigm over here, and they agree on the Venn diagram of what they agree upon and disagree upon. That part where they disagree, I always find is the most fun for me. But boy, that can be dangerous when people have disagreements. I'm a real, me, like I had Jeremy Kaufman on. I had a great conversation with the guy. I wasn't confrontational with him, and I didn't, talk shit or anything. Like, I can really pretty much talk to anyone who I disagree with for the most part. But man, not everyone's like that. I think there's folks that just have a thing that can't get past.
And that's the thing, you handle that well. Plus, there's going to be frictional. Trust me, I've had frictional guests or whatever. People are calling out or whatever. It's hard to do it, but you have to kind of do it and be careful and sensitive. It's a dance. You handle that real well, and that's what's great. But once again, this kind of speaks to our talk about beliefs. This is why beliefs are so dangerous, because like Stuart's belief and Sterling's belief or whatever is so locked in that any disagreement is like attack on him. So I could just imagine the heart rate, the blood pressure in someone like a Stuart just elevating because he thinks he's completely under attack because he has such a lock on the belief. Doesn't mean he's wrong or right, but it's like, that way to lock, I wish people would be a little bit softer about the holding on to those things, just for those events where you do clash, right? So you can work those out.
Yeah, I don't think that was exactly right, though. I think Stewart got the impression that Sterling was intentionally misunderstanding him. One of those like,
he was calling him out.
Yeah, because Stewart was thinking he was being super clear in what he was saying, and then when Sterling would say the thing back, it was almost like insulting because like, what? I didn't say that at all. You're putting words in my mouth, and he said that to him a couple of times.
Yeah,
and so like that's just a tough part. Like if you're not comfortable with somebody, you don't know them that well, you don't know if they're good faith actors. Sometimes you can assume the worst intentions of people, or sometimes people are just doing that and it's for real. Like I don't know, like can't get inside somebody's head.
It didn't seem intentional. It seemed like it was an honest mix up of nomenclature or terminology. But I digress. I know Rob looks like he wants to say something, but
no, I'm enjoying it. I loved the conversation between the two of them. I thought it was a good discussion till the end. They have their views of consciousness, how it manifests, where it comes from, what drives it, exist in different worlds. Like they're not necessarily competing, but then there's some fundamental parts of it that raise questions about the other. And that's where neither of them were as well informed as they could have been. I don't know that I would say as they could have been because they study their own respective areas, but they weren't deliberately misunderstanding each other. They were really misunderstanding each other. And Stewart did take it personally. He's a little more brash.
Yeah, he kind of told me after the show, he's like, I'm too old for this shit, man. Like I just and I feel that in my bones, man. So no, but he's a good dude. I text with him about just bullshitting around, and I've talked to him a lot, and he's a genuinely good dude. So I'm really sad that went sideways, but he's good friends with Dr. Michael Levin. And I'm trying to get him on the show because I think that is that bridge right there. Levin has got a lot of interesting work and some experimental work that's been done that extends Friston's free energy principle. And there's experimental validation for some of that stuff. And so I really want to talk to him about that. That would be a really great conversation when I get him on.
Well, I'm telling you, the way you handle it was exceptional. And I think that, and not to just blow smoke here, I think you have an excellent show. And I think that the way you structured it, it's approachable, but it's also some pretty heady topics that, idiots like me can actually follow along with. So I shout out for the Aiming Up podcast for sure. I think more people should watch that show.
Well, thank you, man. It's a big honor coming from you guys. I love you all. I think you guys are awesome. I respect the hell out of every one of you.
I agree wholeheartedly, man. I've been flipping through your catalog too. So we've got William in. Welcome, William. Howdy, y'all. And did you guys? We buried the lead. Free is like a superstar now. He's like a movie. He's like on some. I heard he made some HBO cut. Who wants to talk about that? Rob, you want to talk about that? It looks like you're laughing.
I loved the first couple of seasons of John Oliver's show. He's gone a little wild at the end. The last few years, a little bit more buying into the propaganda, but seeing Free on John Oliver and then hearing Free talk about it and how bad CNN, that's disgusting.
Oh God.
Bias.
I'm calling bias on that one.
Well, I don't know how Amity won last night, but she won that game show allegedly. I saw.
Man, I threw a bunch of points at her last night.
I wanted to nuke her.
So to bring a little levity here, John Oliver has his TV show, Weekend and Week with John Oliver. Free makes a cameo and talks about and gets to be on there. And it's I think he mentioned it was like some footage from like 2024 from BBC or something. Feel free to correct us in there in the comments, guys. But then they drudged it up, and then what? They were trying to make it look bad, like people are getting paid for opinions or something. And it's like, what's going on? So anyone else want to opine on that? It was kind of fun to see Free there. Be like, what's going on, guys?
I thought it was interesting that he was on a BBC episode or a BBC interview anyway, but
oh, by the way, let me speak about that. So I had Clint Russell on the week that he's on with Ian Carroll and Dave Smith. Well, do you see our boat rising at all? Do you see our tide being risen there, Jake? No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But then Who do I get on? Who did we get on like 2 weeks ago? And they like Scott Orton. Then he goes on Julian Dory with 1.05 million followers. And you're like, dude, then we get redacted, 2.85 million followers. What the heck? Then they get on this thing. And then he gets David Icke right after that, right? And now here comes Free, comes on our show, now on HBO.
You're the new kingmaker. We're gonna take
Give us the anchors, guys. We'll just hold all your anchors while you guys just float away.
Mark's the kingmaker. I'm waiting for my due.
Yep.
No, it was interesting. It was an interesting interview that he did for BBC anyway. And I thought it was kind of a nothing. Like, I get what Free was saying when he did the interview. And the thing that they clipped up was like trying to be this gotcha thing for like making memes. The only punchline on there was like the Trump dodging bullets thing. And John Oliver's like, and he didn't do that very well. I was like, okay, sure. That was one good joke. But the fact that our homie made it to that level and got the exposure, I've nothing but love. I thought it was really cool. And I wish they would have clipped Are You Smarter Than a Politician and just kind of got something more current. But I mean, it was good to have it on there regardless. And I'm glad he got the exposure.
Did you see Free said he was on Twitter 16 hours a day?
I did see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I guess someone else needs the intervention, huh? No, but to your point, like, it's totally true that it would have been great to show that, but they had to make a point, right? And they're trying to they chopped it up so poorly that, like, what point are you really trying to make that he's bought by someone? Like, he's paid for it? It was a really odd way to try to do it. And think about all the memes they had to go through to find one that really got you. Like, think of all the stuff.
No, what made me laugh was just how they sort of subtly tried to paint Free as like this MAGA guy. And I was like, what?
Yeah, have you watched the show?
He can't even get rid of the nativity set. Come on. He just doesn't have it's been up for like 3 months.
Of all the people they could have picked as right-wing influencers,
I'm telling you, the next time I go on that show, I'm going to win that nativity set. I'm taking it home.
Wasn't he wearing a Killdozer shirt in the interview? That would have been hilarious. I didn't look.
No, he didn't. I thought it was the Don't Tread on Me one, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah, let's clump them in with MAGA.
I was disappointed he wasn't wearing like a sleeveless shirt with a meth pipe. Go Florida.
Gotta represent when you have your chance,
William,
man.
We've had you on, William. Yeah, what do you want to be on, William? We'll make it happen. Jake and I will have you on next week. No time.
Now that you're the kingmaker, Mark, William wants to leapfrog and get onto a bigger platform after getting interviewed.
Somebody tweeted Angela, let her know that she's been replaced.
So on. Sorry for the hard pivot here, but Rob, what's the next step for you? What's the journey look like on this LNC chair path? Like, what are the steps for you? Because I'm aware of what you're trying to do, but I don't know like what the steps are and what the hurdles are along the way. So sorry for the hard pivot, but let's go.
Have you seen the meme where it's like to the right is like this dark, stormy forest with thorns, and the left is like a sunny path, and it's like the Uniparty and Liberty? My path is nothing but like a dark, stormy, thorny. Talking to libertarians day in and day out and trying to convince them of like the correctness of strategy that I would like to employ can be like pulling teeth, to put it nicely.
Herding cats, man. What are you, crazy? I mean, literally every libertarian is an individual mind. It's the whole point. It's like a group of the groupless guys. I'm sorry, that doesn't work. I mean, I love you guys. I love all you guys. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Compel me. Rob, sell me, man.
Somebody needs to turn into the autist whisperer. Like, there's got to be a person.
There is, man.
I'm working on that.
Rob's autistic, Jason. Look at him, man.
I've been taking my Tylenol every day. You know, I find a lot of fertile ground with talking to people about like the actual specific plans I have and where I want them to go and what success would look like and how to do it. I think that we have people who are good at strategy and people who are good at tactics, but no one who's good at putting them together. And I do think I'm pretty good at that. So bringing these ideas out and then, getting challenged, like, well, how's that going to work? And it's like, actually, I can answer that this time. And the answer is not me doing it. It's finding people who are good at things and then empowering them to do the things they're good at. I think we see a lot in the party where you have people who are doing a decent job at something, but they're missing on some parts. You're like, well, why are you missing on this? And they're like, believe me, I know, but I'm also doing these 6 other things you don't know about. And it's like, well, where are the people that should be doing those 6 things? And it's like, well, they're doing this because, I'm in communications, even though I don't have a background on it. I should be in finance. And then why is the finance person doing like a website infrastructure? And it's like, well, there was no one doing website infrastructure. And just a little organization would go a long way. And then I think success breeds success. Like, I really believe that. And so you start seeing a few small successes, then you start to get buy-in. I'm a messaging person. My background is mostly comms and marketing. And so the right messaging targeted at the right groups, a few things I want to see, like one big thing I've been pushing is, do you remember during COVID when KGP and Saki Bomb were having their press conferences, and we all watched all the press conferences because there's nothing else to do. And Peter Ducey would go out there and he'd drop one crazy question and they'd get into it back and forth, and that would be like the viral video the next day. Like, how do we not have someone at every single press conference asking that crazy question?
You're not invited, man. You're not invited to the table.
It's not that hard to get invited. We just need to do what you need to do. I mean, there's requirements. You have
to get
to
into the press, for example, press briefing, press corps would be very interesting. I've heard the box out method. I mean, Sagar talks about it, and he was actually in it. For example, have you heard how kind of gatekeepy it is?
I've looked into this extensively. So,
oh, okay. Oh, shit. Well, educate me that maybe I thought too much. It's too strong.
There are a limited number of seats, obviously, but they're not so hard to get if you have the resources to do it, but it takes some time. Like, you have to have had the press credentials for, I think, 3 years at least, and a longer documented history of being in the press. And then you have to work in some other supported press facility for 6 months. And then you usually have to go into the congressional press team for a little while. But then, you know how there's the people up front that get to ask a lot of the questions and the people in the back that don't say anything?
Yeah, they all know each other by first name basis.
So getting to the seats in the back is the first big hurdle. But once you're there, then you just need someone who's persistent and good at being in the press. And I think we have people that could do that. But a lot of them have careers that are working for them. So what's their incentive to go do this? And just a little bit of support, okay, you would take this financial hit, we'll make up for that, but this is what you have to give us in return. And then you go get some bulldog who's going to do what it takes to get to the press corps in the White House. And in a year, we have that going on. But we don't make those year-out plans, those 5-year plans and the milestones we hit along the way. Everything is reactive, and we need a reset. We need to start being proactive.
We need to see if we can just bump Laura Loomer off. Then you could have her seat.
Dude, if you bump Laura Loomer off, she will
I'm sorry,
you,
alternative media's Tim. She'll land on her nose. It'll be fine. But the whole thing, we see Timcast is now in the press corps, and you're like, Tim, what did Timcast do? And then you look at what the garbage they make now, the garbage content they come out with. What souls do you have to sell just to get a toe in there? And who's that? Ibika, the African journalist. Remember, he got completely shoehorned out or completely thrown out of there.
I feel like Josie needs to be rescued from Timcast. Josie needs to get rescued and pulled away from Timcast.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, but you guys understand. And look, it's not to poo-poo it. It's just the reality. That's what I've seen is even Massey talks about it. That whole DC art is built into the architecture. You choose this room or that room. There's no third room. There's no what. It's those are the 2 rooms, and that's all you got. And someone like a Massey, he's in the other room a lot. And you're like, he's in the other room, but he's not in the other room. He just that idea he doesn't agree with on the other side. It's because he looks at each idea versus the side that claims the idea, I guess.
Well, I don't take it as you trying to be dismissive of the idea. Like, I want people to challenge my stuff. That's how it gets better.
I
like,
love the idea, by the way.
If there are flaws in what I'm saying, then I need to know about them so I can make the idea better. And that's how we get better. You need someone with some clout, like getting kicked out of the press corps could be just as much of a marketing opportunity as being in the press corps. But if it's someone, with 30 followers and no platform, and I hate the attention economy, but like the number of followers, those sorts of things do matter in this context. They're not going to get the sort of groundswell of support that you're looking for. But, what if we had someone like Dan Smots or Free, or someone from Reason with a big platform, and then they get kicked out? All of a sudden, that's trending and going viral. And the one thing I will say about libertarians is we're really good at like not giving into the 24-hour news cycle. Like, whenever it's like Epstein will go away, it's like, have you met a libertarian? Because we're never letting this go.
I'd love it if Free got in the press corps, man. That smart ass sense of humor, he'd crush in there.
Exactly. And then there could be a ton of "Are you smarter than a politician?" questions about it, and maybe John Oliver does another episode. Like, so yeah, it's bringing these ideas up and saying this is a good idea. If we could make it happen, the outcome would be good, and then workshopping it with smart people, identifying all the potential pinch points and bolstering it against those, and then going for it. And then if it doesn't work, like, no ego whatsoever. Okay, we tried. It was a good idea. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. What's the next thing?
So what's your path then to actually winning LNC chair? Like, what do you need to do other than just beating the other people who are running for it? But like, what are the steps you got to take to get to that spot?
I mean, what it 100% comes down to really is delegate count. So we have our little war room list of states and how many delegates for each, and I'll probably be attending 5 or 6 conventions directly. I'm going to make videos for a bunch of others, try and win people over, start making some calls directly. And like, I don't ever want to say the words I don't want to win, but I'm not trying to win on vibes or politics. I want people to back me because they're like, hey, this guy has some good, fresh ideas and we'd like to see them tried. And then if that happens, people get behind it and you have the support. There's plenty of good ideas that have been out there that didn't work because no one backed them. But then if they start working and people start buying in, all of a sudden it turns into a virtuous cycle and things are going the other way.
What about you, Brent? Do you ever see yourself in a position where you want to run for anything, or is that too much of a, like, it ain't worth it?
No, I'm running from stuff, dude. Like, I'm not. No, I'm not running for anything. Like, I'm an anarchist. I'm principled not saying people aren't principled, but I mean, meaning that I believe personally that voting is evil and it's also counterproductive strategically. Because I firmly believe that the government doesn't give a shit who you vote for as long as you vote. Right? They want the consent. They want that thin veneer of like something they can point at saying you actually consented to being governed. You showed up, you voted. No, Mark, you and I have talked about this. I'm like, even if you had like none of the above, like, well, you showed up and you punched that fucking ballot, and they're going to point at that and say, like, we own you now. Like, you agreed. And I'm somebody who likes to point out to people, and oftentimes in unkind ways, I need to work on my delivery, that, the consent matters. Like in all aspects of your life, right? Like we should respect that across the board, and I'm pretty staunch on that. I don't think that you can like if you really care about the principles, you can't live one way and then have sort of like this counter philosophy that you're like, well, if we just have this strategy, and if we just do it this way, and if we just like, I'm like, either you care about the principle or you don't. That's my personal view. I don't no shade on anybody who votes. This is just the way I approach things. So that would just prohibit me. Like, I'd have this moral quandary. I just like, nah, even if I think it's going to result in something better, like I'm not running for anything. I'm not voting for anything. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not part of the system. I want to build parallel systems, counter systems, be outside the system as much as possible.
And I asked for grace. It was the first time I didn't vote for an elephant. So I had to state that I was voting no to I'm contemplating my future stuff, but I'm just saying I had to put my foot down the one time. Yeah, I had to break my own cognitive dissonance. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like making yourself like stare at the cigarette so you don't smoke.
I just wanted to tell everybody you're welcome because I knew that's what Brent was going to say, and I just wanted to give him that layup and tee him up for it. So
100%. I'm like crawling out of my chair. I can answer that for Brent.
And the Fed. Give me a layup. Oh, I have another thing, Jake. Since you brought it up, you invoked Josie's name. So here's a inside piece of information. I'm scheduling her for first week in April right now, so I'm gonna have her on the show.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I have a fascination with her in a sense of like I don't know enough about her to know how she kind of got to where she's at as far as the knowledge, but that woman has a like savant level of history knowledge. And I don't think she gets the credit that's due. She puts a lot of YouTube content out, and I see, a handful of viewers, and it's like, I don't know. I to see her aligned with Timcast to me is this weird kind of thing. I don't know the history of it. I'm ignorant to it, but it just seems like if she had her own thing, she would be so much more set up for getting her message through clearer. I guess that's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
well, I don't think Tim's a bad guy from what I hear. I hear Tim's really nice. Like everyone who knows him, I guess personally, that has no issues. So it's kind of hard to like. We see him from this other thing. I've never met the guy, but god damn, the dude turned in October 2024. It was palpable. It was a palpable shift, and I never watched. I literally watched it as part of my daily thing, just as part of like the whole thing to get information. And I was like, I stopped watching. It was like totally new. It just stopped. It changed. And that's just my opinion on it. I'm trying not to be mean on the dude.
Ever since the rumor about him selling to Daily Wire, as soon as that changed,
that was it.
The show
changed. Freedom Fest in December.
What were you saying, Brent? Sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was going to say that I think Josie's interesting because she's such a polarizing figure, and I've kind of like, and I've got my own issues with her on various things, but I've been talking with her back and forth for a couple weeks now, and I'm trying to figure out who she is as a person because I think that sort of public persona is different than the real person. So I'm going to have a chat with her, not necessarily about a lot of the standard things you might think about that interview might go, like the politics and the this, that, and the other. I kind of want to figure out who she is as a person because I think that she's kind of like a cartoon at this point. Like and I think that I've been sort of aware of this as I've entered into this public space where you put yourself out there. You're like, I have to protect. Like I've always concerned about like my employer. Like if people find out, where I work, and like there's a lot of weird stuff. I got children, and then people start to come after your kids, and like there's weird stuff that happens. Like when I was in Dubai interviewing Zuby, he kind of let me know, like, hey, this is what it's like to have a big Twitter account. Take a look at this. And I was like, holy crap, dude, this is insane. And so I'm trying to like sort of be charitable and be like, okay, I understand why maybe some of these things that people see and point at as issues with her or anybody else that's got a big account like that. How that sort of might have happened. And I'm thinking about it from my perspective, like as you grow, like you're thinking like, well, if that's happening to other people, there's probably a reason you could get pushed into those same type of pockets. And so I just want to sort of back off of all that stuff and not just be super political and just kind of get to know her as a person. Cause I think she's probably misunderstood at her core. But I also don't know, like it's tough when you have that position where everybody's fighting you and coming after you. Then you got your people that are on your team and you can send them after them. Like things get fucking weird, man. And I just don't think it's organic. It's not like a real, I think most of the interaction you see with her on Twitter is not like real life. Like this is not the real person. I would
totally agree with that. I think you're very well suited from your perspective to have that interview and to kind of guide her along to get like different information out of her than what is the normal kind of known stuff about her. So I'm all for it. If you have her on, I'll definitely be watching that.
Cool. And also I've been trying to make this bridge in the background because there's been beef between her and like Derek Wills, Handcap Air, there's just all this stuff. And like, I don't like seeing that just in the liberty movement in general. Like if people have probably watched my show, you understand, like I'm a big tent kind of person and I don't see people as like teams. Like you're not on my team because you're not a full anarchist, right? Like I try to bring people in, I try to make arguments for things, but I also realize that like this is a progression, right? To get to where I think that people should be, what I think is the best philosophical approach. Like you're not going from being like a MAGA dude one day to like overnight. There's this sort of progression. And sometimes people get stuck too. Sometimes people have wedge issues. There's things that they just can't move past, whether it's borders or whether it's whatever. And I'm just kind of like, okay with that. Like if you're kind of like aiming towards more freedom, I'm kind of like, okay, cool. You're part of the team. I'm not, you're not my enemy. If we get to a point where disagreements that Josie and I have, like they matter in the real world, I'm pretty happy with the direction that society has gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like most of these disagreements are kind of fake. Like we're not anywhere near where that's even going to be mattering in the real world.
No, I totally agree with you, and I think that you're very open to all the different kind of things that fall under that tent, unless somebody says they're a minarchist.
And guys, stick around after because I got 2 stories with Josie. I met her twice. AWOL Aaron, holy mackerel! AWOL Aaron is in the house. I just so you guys know, AWOL. I did a podcast with AWOL a long time ago. I think he's ex-military guy, really awesome guy in Arizona. He does cool spatial AI music and stuff. So welcome, AWOL. So he's one of our types of people. He's just out there like one of those weird nerds that we all like. So. Anyway, but yeah, I had an interesting interaction with that person that you guys mentioned. I don't want to. Once again, I'm trying to offer grace too, Brent. But I told you about how I get stuff, and like I got to. Once again, I'll share that guy offline because it's like once again, I'm not here to. I don't know anything until I know stuff, right? I can only get but I'm generally good with that stuff. So anyway, I'm excited for that.
I baked that into my calculus.
Brilliant. Josie's brilliant, by the way. I mean, the way she tells a story, watching her storytelling is great. I watch a lot of those, and they're very educational. They flow very well. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of preparation that goes into that to make it look so smooth in a story kind of way.
Yes, Amity, I did have you on my show when you called yourself a minarchist. I hope I was gentle enough. I feel bad. I've poked at Amity a couple of times. I feel bad about it. So I'm trying to be better. I'm really trying to not
coming on our show first. I don't know if we've got the same grace. I don't know.
I only say that because I was talking to Brent once on X, and I said something about like, what do you think about minarchists? And I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, that's like the biggest pussy step in being an anarchist. He's like, if you just don't commit and go the full way. I was like, I never really looked at it that way. I mean, I don't consider myself a minarchist, but I was like, I appreciated the blunt assessment of it. I've transformed too. Like I started out on the, libertarian light, I guess, and I'm full anarchist at this point, and to the point of like, the state's illegitimate. We need to completely have none of it. And I credit three of you on here for getting me to that point, watching some of the guests that Freeze had on his show. So it's been a journey for me too. But I will say I never stopped at minarchist. I skipped right over that one.
Good for you, man. No, I have a hard time, man. I'm trying to be a lot better because I don't want to offend people. I don't want to be off-putting. But it's like this fine line, and sometimes I think people need pushes, including me. Like I've had, like Ron Paul was that to me. I used to fucking be so conflicted by that dude because I loved him on certain things, his economic policy and his fiscal policy and sound money and all this. And then he would start talking about the war stuff, the anti-intervention, and my head would explode. I'd be like, what the fuck is this guy? And
that was my problem.
I would get angry at the dude. I was like, God, he's so good over here. Why can't he get this thing right? And then I realized like, oh, actually I'm wrong, And so
dude, I admitted to Horton that I took Giuliani's side in that fucking debate. Like I remember
leave the room?
I don't remember when I'm like hat in hand, dude. How much more shame can I feel? Like just admitting that when I saw Giuliani go, I was like, fuck yeah, Giuliani, America, and attack. And I didn't know, even though you look back at it now and you go, God, Ron was so wise. Why did I get so mad at him? Like, why did I get so mad at that one?
Yeah. But Ron really set a great example, though, and that's one of the things I don't always do, especially when it's on Twitter and I'm just fucking tweeting shit out into the void, and then like I got to be better about that stuff. I've been trying to be more sensitive and not throw so many flames. So sorry for anybody that I've stepped on your toes. I'm really trying to be better.
I say it all out of love
for all the toes that we're going to step on. Just to be clear, we're going to apologize in advance for all the people we're going to step on. So it's fine. Good, Jake. Oh, you're muted, bud.
I meant that out of love for Brent. Like, it's one of the things I like about Brent is he's not afraid to just say like what he thinks. But I respect that quite a bit. Aside from that, when are some new designs coming out? Because I'm itching to buy some more of your stuff.
Oh, that is a great question. I've got a bunch that are in the hopper, and I need to focus on that company. So thank you for pushing me, Jake. I will get some out. I've got probably 7 or 8 new ones, including a completely redesigned Black Guns Matter thing with Maj. And so I wasn't super happy with some of those things. I wanted to tweak it. And so I've been doing some changes. And what I do with the company, because it's print on demand, is I have to put up a design, mock it up, and then I have to print like a test run, and it has to ship to me. It has to be manufactured, ship to me. I have to take a look at it, make sure I like it. And so I would say within the next month, I would expect like a refresh of everything that's on the website.
I consider myself somewhat of a connoisseur, and I'm no bullshit. I know this sounds like I'm just kissing your ass, but the quality of what you've got is awesome. The designs are great, and I think that the next kind of level of design and the next kind of level of ideas, I've seen a couple of the mock-ups are spectacular. And I can't wait to just
that Trump one, man. That Trump one's going to get me in trouble, but I can't wait to get that pushed out. I'm just
it is, but I'm going to buy one for sure.
Hell yeah.
I had to put this up just because it's our favorite topic. 1913.
Are we keeping you from getting some dinner, Rob?
No, I'm just enjoying the conversation. I'm laughing to myself over here.
The 16th, 17th, and the Fed. 1913, everyone.
I was hoping Brent would say that he's got 6 or 7 new.
6, 7?
Yeah, William, thank you. Please binge the channel. I'm starting to get in the monetized category now. I got only like 400 more watch hours. No. I need 400 more subscribers. I already hit my watch hour limit. So I'm really trying to turn this into something where I don't have to do the tech thing anymore because I fucking hate it. My job is soulless, and I'm in the middle of a transition anyway. So I would love to just do something else. I know Rob is smirking because we're talking about something else on the side too. But that's just where I'm leaning towards. I don't want to do work for the tech overlords anymore.
Yeah, maybe we can get a couple of us start watching ours versus binge watching, and then we can get to that point to leave our fucking jobs too.
Baby steps.
Yeah,
baby steps.
It's a long trek, man.
Hey, mundane fucking mouth breathe knuckle draggers all fucking day with like zero. It's all fucking day, man. Zero intellect. Like make my brain hurt out of not lowering myself to your level, but rising and hurting because I worked it out, because I stretched it, because I lifted an extra 200 mental muscles today, pounds. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of the troglodyte, just absolute zero.
It's depressing when you see people that are just having like millions of subs and they're making money hand over fist in that social media game because they're playing that team sort of thing, just lowest common denominator, like the Gunther Engelmans. I hate to keep calling the dude out, but like he's just making. I was talking to Simon Goddick about him, and he told me sort of roughly what that dude makes a month, and it's like, holy fucking shit, man. Mm-hmm. Dude's just raking in money, and here we are. It's like we're trying to put out good content, something that actually has substance, and we're talking about principles and things that matter. And everyone who, like, by the way, shout out everyone here who's grinding, because it is a grind. Unless you do this or you're trying to make this thing happen, you'll never know how much effort goes into doing this shit. Yeah. It's
you have no idea the rejection. Seriously, we've had and this is not a complaint, but this is just talking about the grind. I love the grind because of the result that we get at doing this. Like the 4 of us getting together just so we have this is awesome, and the 4 of us respect each other's times because we know we're kind of have gone through that level. But we've had people show up late or not show up at all, and then, like, I'll give you an example. A guy who doesn't show up on our show, right, goes on Michael Malice's show 8 days freaking later, and you're like, there's the tie. Like, there's again another one, right? I don't know if you saw that, Jake. Did I text you that? The guy who canceled on us? Yeah. So you're like, what is going on here? And it's like, that's not, it just tells you, it's like, what do I, and the envy for me is, what do I have to do to be credible enough for someone to not be late or to not show up?
Well, back
to reschedule. That's the only level right now that I'm even looking for. And sometimes doing this for like, I've done it 6 years. It's just getting that level would be optimal right now. Just so I don't have to stress until 5 minutes beforehand, hoping that person's going to show up.
Back to what Brent said too, like that grifter paycheck is a real thing.
Yeah.
Like that Patriot, PAY Patriot, Twitter check is real. That shit is legit. And I'll tell you, like, I joined Twitter when it was Twitter, like 2011, 12, whatever. I was on for a little bit and I bailed. I came back after Elon bought it, and I didn't realize how the structure had changed. And at first it was like, Cat Turd and Gunther Eagleman and all these people. What's her name with the whale? The whale. Anyway. So I'm like, oh, okay. Kind of, and then it didn't take me long to realize what's Sassafras 84 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as I start,
Sassafras came across. Whatever.
I start realizing like what these people are about.
She's like Sarah Palin Jr. You know what I'm talking about when she. Oh God, dang! Get off the fucking spaces, Sarah.
But I start realizing like what these people are about. And I realized
I'm sorry, is that the light touch that I'm not getting? Is that why maybe it's not working out so well? Is that why baby keeps getting put in the corner?
Just offending everybody, man.
But I love everyone. Seriously, I'll have a conversation with them too. It doesn't matter because like they're just words.
But I was just gonna say, realizing the paycheck that some of these people are getting to do this, like it's just a job to somebody. Like they don't believe any of the shit they're saying. The Matt Van Swoles, like no shade on him indirectly, but like all the comments about North Carolina or wherever he's at, where the storm hit him, and like all the posting he did, and it's like okay, and then the transformation, like I used to be this hardcore lefty to now completely just like carrying water for the GOP and for the Trump administration. And now, like, I shit on him every chance I get, and not because I look forward to it, but it's my duty. Like when he starts in about, this or that about Trump so amazing, like I just go, oh, really? Well, what about the Epstein files? Like, how come your boy's not going to mention?
Boy, he doesn't mention that at all. If you search through his history, crickets.
Never does.
Yeah, he's like to you what like Tim Burchett is to me. Like every time he comes up, you see it. I just got to say some shit, man. I'm not letting I'm like Pepperidge
I
Farms,
do it to
man.
Lindsay. I do it to Lindsay because I asked him a direct question. He just fucking straight up lied. So.
But to my point is he got an invitation to the State of the Union. Now that's not an invitation that I want. I'm not jealous of that, but that just shows that like when you're clout chasing like that, and when you're willing to say anything for the likes or for the paycheck, you're in that circle.
Who held up the Twitter file? Who held up the folders? That's who you look. Who held up the binders? Right. Those are the fucking people you look at and go, oh, and that's the White House people I was talking about, Rob. That's how they gatekeep, man. And it's once again, it's not that your idea is not great. You're brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. I can't imagine it getting past one or two before they just are like, all right, that guy's.
Well, we're at the point now where Matt Van Swoll is like the Harry Sisson of the Republican Party.
Twinks for Trump.
Whoa. Yeah, what happened to that? What happened to that guy who was going to replace Charlie?
Brylan Hollyhan.
Yeah. What happened to this kid? Where'd he go?
He was just defending Trump the other day. I was talking shit about him because he did this video talking about how Trump is the greatest, and he's not in the Epstein files. He's not implicated, and he's just basically like an apologetics session, just because he was taking a Q&A, and all of the video was him shooting down all these people asking entirely reasonable questions about the president. The binders full
now we know what Biden was talking about with his binders full of women.
Okay, that
I
one
think it was
wins.
girls, by the way, but yeah. Anyway, Jason, man, welcome. Thanks for coming.
I'm getting knocks on my hotel room wall, so I'm either being too loud or whatever. So I might have to bail here in a second.
All right, you're for talking. I didn't know you couldn't talk, man. This is America. Are you in Florida?
I am, but it's almost 10 o'clock, and so I think all these people that are drunk from the work conference are like, shut the fuck
up. We're trying to bang over here. Our significant others don't know. Shut up over there.
And get somebody busted there, Jake.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, bring a camera. Bring the like Chromebook around the other, knock on their door and say, hey, you guys want to join our podcast?
You do like the Nick Shirley investigative journalism.
I should do that, except I don't.
Are there Somalis in your
work at all?
Cool. Well, hey, this is a good time to shut it down. I guess we can wind it down. Rob, you have anything else before we call? And then we'll go to Brent and then Jake, and then we'll call it a night. Thanks again to everybody jumping in today. We're at 300 people. That's our busiest show, I think, Jake. So thanks to Brent and Rob, first of all, for just bringing a lot of people and just great conversation, ideas, thoughts, And thanks again, Free Amity, William, Jason, Richie, a Misfit Bunny. Who else we got? Derek. Thanks everybody for joining us.
I love the discussion. I appreciate you having me on. It's nice to just talk with some mostly like-minded people and have a conversation about things that are going on, but with a little bit of a sense of humor, a little bit of perspective. This stuff happens slowly. The world's not going to end tomorrow, most likely, but something is going to get worse. And we're so focused on these big things that Brent would say psyop. I almost don't give him enough credit for that. It's just a distraction, but it works. Cat turd works. There's a reason they're paying him that much money. And just looking back at the little things and remembering that's what's being taken away bit by bit. It's the immigrants are not a threat. ICE is really not a threat, but Palantir and Flock are a massive threat. And that's the sleight of hand trick, the smoke and mirrors. You look over here, they pull the cord, the mirror flips, and all of a sudden you're by the wrong book, and your stable coin that they told you was needed to stop the economic crisis, because everything's a crisis now, and you can't buy that book anymore because they've shut you down. But just getting out and being normal, one of my favorite things about Brett, and so I'm going to tell you all something that I've been sitting on, and I'm excited to tell. I do consider myself a minarchist, which I'm
fuck
so
you.
And that tiny horse you rode in on, along with Ben Shapiro.
Oh shit!
Oh, Rob's hat's too big.
But Brett really, it actually is. When I bought it, I had so much more hair. I cut it all off, and now it's a little big. But Brett will sit and have a conversation with anyone, and he's not going to back down on anything. But they're not gotcha questions. There's real questions, and Brent was on Are You Smarter Than a Politician? And we were doing a spaces afterwards, and he was saying some stuff about being in the military. And whenever I meet someone who's in the military, I thank them. And it's not so much for their service. It's you signed a piece of paper and you were basically saying you were willing to die for my liberty. And no matter what came after that, that means a lot to me. And from that moment on, Brett and I connected, and I was like, we need more of this out there. We need people having conversations, not yelling at someone for not agreeing with our ideas, but connecting on a human level, because that's how we spread our ideas. And
what's funny about that one is Brent did the same thing for me. It's I thank people for their service, because the thing is, I enlisted, didn't get in. Now Brent gets to talk shit about the military because and Jake as well, because they actually serve. I feel like I absolutely do not have the credibility to speak about this thing in a way because I hadn't experienced it the way people inside have. And that's where I feel lacking. To your point, I think, Rob, I think you probably had that same similar perception of it. It's
Sure.
You just weren't in it. So it's kind of hard to criticize the thing you actually weren't in.
I'm going to give both of y'all a card, and you can use it at any point. You can talk shit about the military. You got my permission. Yeah. Drop my name. It's good.
No, I understand where Brent comes from, though. I mean, my experience, and this is for another show maybe, but my experience with the Marine Corps was very unique.
Thank you for your service, Jake.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
It was very unique. It wasn't what I wanted it to end up being. And I can understand where Brent's coming from when he's like, hey, kind of redirects a little bit. Yes, I signed the paper. Yes, I was ready to go. And I agreed to do what it took. But at the same time, it's not I don't know. I struggle to find the right words for it, but I understand where Brent's coming from. And I'll just say that it's a very unique kind of personal decision on why some people go because their dad and their grandpa and their grandpa's grandpa were in the military. So they're like, hey, it's the thing that our family does. And then some people go because they want to, they want to be the ultimate patriot. And there's everything in between. There's people that go because they need the paycheck. There's people that go because they have literally no other prospects in life and they need the benefits of the paycheck. So it's not to discount anybody who did some heroics or who actually pulled off some some crazy shit, but it's just not, that wasn't my experience. So I look forward to maybe talking with Brent. If I ever do Aiming Up, maybe we talk about the experience, but I appreciate you guys both coming on tonight. I will say, before we forget, Amity and Free are going to be at the LP Virginia this weekend, 5:30 Eastern. They have a show coming up. So everybody tune into that. They're great friends of the show. This whole little, network that we have, of everybody kind of looking out for each other. I'm happy to be a part of it. And I think that, the rising tide raises all boats, so to speak. And I think that, of all the times, I don't know, the Libertarian Party has kind of been a punchline for a lot of years. And it's always been, the third party thing has kind of been a joke, for lack of a better word. I really think we're in a place right now, and I don't have any fake optimism, but I think we're in a place right now where at least there's some legitimacy. And I think that there's some actual conviction behind the movement, behind the party. And I'm happy to be a part of it and see where it goes. So that's my piece.
Brent, you got anything before we call it, my friend?
Nah, not really. I just a small thing here is like, I hear a lot of talk about changing minds and all this sort of spreading ideas, and that's cool. Like I try to do that as well. But I think in market, we talk about this. Focus on the moment and the inputs, like what you're doing here. I think the important thing is the conversation that we're having. It's not always about, you can't always frame a conversation like I'm going in trying to change somebody's mind. Like if you just approach a conversation with curiosity, especially if somebody has a different view than you, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Why do you see it that way? Because I see it completely different. You can have that discussion. We can exchange. And oftentimes, if you approach it that way, people are less defensive. They're more open with you. And you probably learn a lot more because they're going to bring something to the table that maybe you didn't think about. They've got a different perspective than you. They've thought about it differently than you. And you don't have to agree with them. But after the conversation, you'll at least be able to sort of let that roll around in your head and be like, oh, I'm actually more well-informed and I got a rounded picture here that I don't have these blind spots, because echo chambers are really, really bad. And so I see a lot of this because we do care about spreading liberty. And I'm not saying it's not a worthy goal. We all align around that. But if we could just generally, this is for everybody in all your conversations you have, if you just take that approach, like don't worry about changing people's mind. Just have a conversation, be curious, be open, say what you think honestly, and expect the other person to do the same. I think you'd be in a much better place.
Yeah, what's political about like a hobby, like model building or RC car racing? Like, there's nothing political about it. You just like to do it. So, like, find things. The whole touch grass thing is so valuable, right? Like, it is so important. That's a great point. So before we call it, I just want to thank you, gentlemen, again. Thank you again for finally getting this together. Let's do one of these every few months or a couple times. Like Brent, we got the thing that we're going to do with Tyler coming up.
Yep.
It's going to be a therapy Thursday. It's not going to be every third Thursday, but we'll try to make it Thursdays. And we'll talk about some men's health stuff. Have you guys on? Everyone, we've had weight loss and just mental health and just general things that we need to talk about. They're just more important than like what your like ideology is. Like, okay, like it really doesn't matter. So
yeah, and since you called it out, I gotta say, everyone, if you're not following Tyler Tote, it's at Ty Romper on Twitter. Fucking amazing follow. He's like one of the best
100.
dudes out there. One of those guys that's not terminally online, that is not terminally talking politics. He's always positive and uplifting and all that stuff. And I consider him a friend, and I'm really happy that we're doing that show with him, Mark.
Out of his way to not be political, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just grateful to have the conversation that you connected us and that we got to talk, that he was kind and that we're going to do this. So we generally, I'm sure we'll have people on like in rotation and stuff. So it's a great thing. The 4th of next week is the 4th, I think, right? We have Suzanne Sherman, correct, Jake? Do you want to share? Can you share just a little bit about her background and how you ran into her and what we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, Suzanne, she kind of went through some tragedy. She lost her home and basically kind of spurred her to decide how to be self-sufficient. And she started learning all stuff about sustainability, started learning how to prepare her own food, how to basically homestead. She left Southern California, if I'm correct, and moved to Colorado. She wrote a book called Decentralization, and that's what I've been reading. I was finishing on the airplane today. How decentralization will save the country, and she just seems like an amazing kind of story of like realizing where things are heading and realizing like what you need to do for yourself because nobody's coming for you to help you out. And I'm looking forward to talking with her. So I have the book to finish. I got a couple more chapters left, but it's an easy read, and it's good. I definitely recommend it. That'll be next week.
I'm sorry, I just had to put that up. This show's become a lot more optimistic since Jason left. Jason, you were my dark heart, man. It's really you. It was you that's in the darkness, not me. Okay, and then guys, the 11th. I don't know much about Suzanne. I'm excited just to I'm going to be sitting there eating popcorn watching that because like I'm going to be more of an audience member with just a question or two. But I'm very excited to get to know Suzanne. But after that, the 11th, we have Andrew Heaton on. And if you guys didn't see Andrew Heaton, he and Tim Pool got into it earlier this week or late last week, and Heaton did pretty freaking well. Heaton did pretty good against.
He's a real smart dude.
He's a smart MFer, and I've never had the privilege. Jason actually had a podcast with him. Jake and I haven't. I'm just really honored to have that opportunity. He is the author of Tribalism is Dumb, and I forget the name of his podcast, but it's like an Andrew Heaton. The Mighty Heaton, I think, is his act. So, yeah. So that's and Jason. So that's that. And then we have Valerie Lee on, who was Valerie Durham, now married Valerie Lee, from Freedom Fest on the 18th of March. So we've got a couple things of the pipeline, and then Amity on the 1st of April, and we got something on the 25th that we'll talk about later.
One more week that's come and gone that Alp has not sponsored the show, so I'm putting that out there.
All right, can we get us our nicotine fix? Any fentanyl companies want to back us up?
The Jalisco cartel.
No, thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. We had a good turnout tonight, but this has been a good conversation. You guys are ride or die homies. We appreciate it.
Yeah, love you guys.
There you go. Very much. The political orphanage. Jason summed it up perfectly. So that's the name of the podcast, Political Orphanage. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. Jake, as always, great, man. Awesome troopers. How many times have we broadcast not from home, man? I think we're dedicated. I will say we're dedicated. So thank you for your dedication. Over 300 people. That I'm gushing, guys. You guys really made this show happen. It's really the guests and the ideas that make this show. That's all. We just want to spread the message of liberty and just ideas and greatness. Thank you, gentlemen. Again, this has been another If by Whiskey.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Wednesday night. This has been If by Whiskey, and we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Subscribe to If by Whiskey. Fuck Liberty Lockdown. Subscribe to this show.
No, God.